Okay, this video is directed at the individuals who are sitting around trying to shame everyone else for doing something in a way that they wouldn't want to do it. And the example that comes to mind is all the people who are constantly shaming the individuals who like to work a lot and somehow trying to give them the responsibility of making other people feel like they have to work a lot as well. Example could be someone like Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk, anyone who's well known for being kind of a workaholic, as they put it. And in turn, they become extremely successful and have a lot of money. And of course, the money then leads to the power. And again, people are putting all this emphasis on how this is a toxic behavior or culture where somewhere in their mind, they're thinking that they're being forced or told to work 60, 70, 80, 100-hour weeks. And I think that that's just completely irresponsible to be blaming the successful people or the ones who are really kind of in their own way. I guess I would say like maybe a little neurotic with how they like to work. That seems to be pretty irresponsible and a cop out, in my opinion, if you're going to go around telling people that it's wrong to think it's okay to do that. The reality is a lot of people think it is okay to do that, and they also agree with the idea that working that much and dedicating a lot of your life to making money or becoming more successful in other ways is a good thing for them. And that's actually what drives certain types of human beings, it seems like. Some people enjoy that grind, that hustle, that level of dedication. They love the competitive aspect of beating other businesses or beating other salespeople or beating whoever, right? It's part of certain individuals' nature to be this way, and it's it's laughable, to be honest, when individuals go around saying that that's wrong to do that or wrong to say that that's a way that some people should live. If somebody wants to sit here and advocate for their own behavior and saying that they believe you should work a lot in order to get out of being poor, or that you should, dedicate a lot of time and sacrifice energy around social interactions in order to achieve some big lofty goal or accomplish some sort of feat that others haven't done yet. I think if you try to go around shaming individuals who believe that for themselves and also would like to share that other people might resonate with that message as well, it just makes you look weak, and it makes you look like you're just complaining about the reality of this world, that some people are that way. Not everyone's going to be that way. If you're not that way, that's fine. And if you're spending your time trying to denounce that behavior or tell others that it's wrong to be that type of person, all you're doing is just creating more chaos and rifts in the world, which I guess is also natural. But the reality is, I just think it's laughable, and I wanted to touch on this point because I think it just seems like a waste of your energy. If you truly believe that you shouldn't have to work 100 hours a week and that you should be able to comfortably afford to live and have food and take care of a family and things of that nature, then your question should be focusing on what can you do to achieve that. That's a little bit more in your control, in my opinion. Trying to make other people change their behavior is constantly going to be an uphill battle that you're probably never going to win in 90% of the cases. And if you're spending time going on the internet and telling people not to be this way, that time you're spending and taking out of your day to go and push that message that this is wrong because it makes it harder for me to have what I want is time you're taking away from yourself to actually getting what you want. If you want to have the comfortable lifestyle that you feel you deserve, then go out and get it and figure out for yourself how do you achieve it from your own perspective and your own position in the world versus spending a lot of time trying to get other people to agree with you that they shouldn't have to do that. Because the reality is, you don't have to work 100 hours a week to be successful and to make money. There's lots of individuals out there who know this and they actually achieve that. But there are going to be the other types of individuals who have their own worldviews and they believe they should go to the extremes because it makes them feel more satisfied or at ease, right? I think that people need to get a hold of this idea that everyone operates in their own level of intensity. They have their own set of values. And we've got to just let people be themselves for the most part, unless it's directly impacting your ability to get what it is you need or want. But a lot of times it seems easier to say, because the rich people are not doing this with their money or helping this or whatever, they're not using their influence and power to change the narrative so that it could be easier for me. They're evil and they're the problem. That is such a waste of your energy. And it's also like just going to leave you disgruntled and angry with life because you're going to feel helpless. So the alternative is to see that this is the reality, that there are going to be people like Elon Musk who truly believes that he needs to be working constantly and it's going to come at the cost of any of his relationships that he has personally. Let Elon Musk do whatever he feels he must. If you're worried that he might one day regret his decisions, it's human of you, I guess, to be concerned, but it's also still distance yourself because it's not your life. And some of these individuals who are spending a lot of their life dedicated to their work are actually creating pretty positive things for the rest of the society to benefit from. Opportunities may come out of what they're creating, technology is going to come out of what they're creating. And I think it's going to make some of you who, if you do identify as being this person who complains about, having to work too much because you feel like you're not going to have enough money to be able to do whatever it is you want to do, you're going to be feeling a lot better as the sooner you can realize you too can achieve the life you want, and you're going to have to figure out to what extent are you willing to go to get that. There's a lot of countries that exist around the world that are pretty affordable. I think most of my audience will probably be Americans because I'm from the United States. And I gotta say, I've been traveling around Europe for this year, and it's much more affordable. And if you really want to get to a position where you feel like you can still generate good income without having to go to the extreme, that allows you to have a nice home and have enough food and be able to go out and do things, then you should consider moving out of the United States because it's quite an expensive place. Or at very least, consider where the cheapest place is in the United States to live, and would I be willing to relocate to some place that might be more boring, have less access to more exciting restaurants and whatnot, and then factor in that you can go on trips throughout the year and plan that out for your life. It'll give you a sense of security with working just 40 hours a week or less. And if you want to make more money per hour, you want to have a higher value, then ask yourself what skills you can start to develop and continue to develop so that you can be worth more and people will pay you more. Again, turning into working less if you want to, because you can afford it now, and then you can use the time to go out and do whatever it is you want to do. So I think it's important. Stop trying to put everyone to this uh, uniform way of thinking because it's not going to happen. You're not going to be very successful in, if your life's suffering because of it, you feel angry constantly or upset. You got to ask yourself, is this the life that you want to live? And if it is, fine, keep doing it. That's fine. I just don't believe that anyone's going to convince mass, the mass majority of people being on the same wavelength or thought process of how things should go down. So, all this to be said, just try to remember that everyone's on their own level. If you're the one who's on the internet spending time to tell people that what they believe in is wrong, and that's how you spend all your day thinking and speaking about other people, it just doesn't sound good to anybody except for a couple people. There's definitely a big wave of people jumping on this bandwagon that they want to change the culture of work and all this crap that's coming out. It's fine. You want that, it's cool. But again, the sooner you achieve it in your local life, your immediate surroundings, maybe you'll be a little bit happier. But if you're spending too much time on the internet, you got to be careful because then you might be getting upset for someone else's cause that actually really doesn't directly impact yours and takes away again from the time that's precious for you to do what it is you need to do for your life to be the way you want it to be. So get out there, live your life. If you want to be lazy, want to be boring, but you still want to be able to afford stuff and not struggle, you can achieve it. Just do it. If you want to be super successful, multimillionaire, billionaire, you could do it. Go ahead and do it. I just hope that everyone is realizing that their way of thinking isn't always going to be the right way of thinking. And I agree, even to my own self, my way of thinking isn't going to be the right way of thinking for a lot of people. And I have to understand it and I have to accept that this message that I'm putting here, any of the messages I put out, may be upsetting people. And it's fine. That's what's going to happen. There's going to be people who are going to be pissed off and think that I'm completely wrong. If I go out and say, I don't believe racism is a real issue, right? From surface level, I think a lot of people will hear me say that and think I'm an idiot, I'm ignorant, whatever, right? Or maybe call me racist. But there's so much more depth to that statement that I make that I think people don't want to go through the process of having an understanding of what exactly does that mean to me. Because a lot of us out here don't agree that racism is really a big issue in the United States. It exists in a certain level, in a certain extent, but it isn't really what people are trying to make it out to be, which is this whole idea that just because of the race that you are not allowed to achieve successes or not allowed to do certain things. Like, of course, not everyone's gonna like you. Not everyone's gonna like anybody, right? Not There's no universally liked person in the world. There's very few people who have a mass majority of individuals that like them, but the reality is that you're not going to please everybody. So you got to believe in what you believe in. And again, I think using these quick fix solutions, or I would say quick answers to why things are the way they are, is just is robbing you of bigger truth and more well-rounded understanding of how the world actually operates. So going around saying because I'm Mexican, I can't this, or the race thing is silly in my mind. I don't think it's really legally a thing. They say there's a system that's creating this divide, and the people are. It's not a system. It's a behavioral response of how people are. I do believe culture is a big thing, and obviously there's classes that exist. The upper class, middle class, lower class, and whatnot. And a lot of that has ties to culture. So just think about the culture that you want to exist in. Try to get surrounded by people who agree with this culture. And yeah, I mean, you want to go out and take over the whole world and tell everyone they need to be a certain way. Good luck. I'm not going to be a part of this victim mentality, identity politics bullshit. Like, it's just not real for me personally. I don't experience enough of it to say that this is the way the world operates. And I've got visible tattoos. I have my facial hair. I've been like this for a long time. I just speak in a specific way that I think represents the true character that I am. And that I think helps me get through a lot of the initial things that might come about, which could be people who have prejudices around your skin color or your appearance in general. But that's always something that's very primal, of course, because if you see, even just thinking about nature, if you see a certain type of dog, you might think, oh, this one's cute. And then you see another one, you're like, that one looks vicious, right? You're using your primal instinct to use the appearance that you see to make an assessment for safety's purposes that I want to make sure that at first glance, it looks like this might be that. Okay. But the dog has the opportunity to show you it's friendly, and then you're going to immediately forget about all the crap that you had in the beginning. And over time, you'll probably really realize, oh, okay, they're not all the same, and I have to just be cautious, as if every situation is going to be that way until eventually it's not. It's no longer a reality. But the reality is there is a lot of crap that goes around with appearances proving to be true and stereotypes proving to be true. So you kind of gotta spend more time thinking about stuff and going through it and really realizing what's the true depth of what is happening here. And it takes a lot of self-awareness, I think, and a lot of just patience to ask questions and challenge your own beliefs until you can really believe that you believe them. But there's too many people out here that are actively vocal around something that I don't get the sense that they really understand what they're saying. They're just spewing out stuff with diversity, inequality from gender, pay gaps, all that stuff. And too many of them don't have enough knowledge to be speaking this way and as if it's an absolute truth. And it just floods the internet with information that's just not true for everybody, or even in the most cases. So I think it's important, again, just think more, really try to understand what's going on, accept that people are going to be different. You can't assume that you understand someone immediately off the first interaction or the first two interactions. There's way more complexity around the psychological aspects of society. And that's important for us, I think, to spend time to realize we don't have the answers. So for us to be ignorant and say, oh, it's because of this and this, without having, again, do all that work that allows you to even say that with high level of certainty, you're just coming off as foolish and really just causing more problems for other individuals. So this is all just off the top of the head, speaking whatever I felt like I needed to speak about today. I'm trying to change my own life to be more present on the you know, I guess the personal brand front. And my personal brand's about advocating for critical thinking and further understanding of psychological implications around life and society. And I think that I'm tired of seeing all this cancel culture. I'm tired of seeing content that's telling me that it's wrong to be this way or it's wrong to be that way or that this person's wrong for doing that. I just want to see more content around why people are awesome, why people are right. And I can actively change that by following specific people on my social medias or staying off social media, which is a big thing that I've been working on. But in general, I just see a lot of people in pain. And since my network is filled with these individuals who like to speak around being oppressed or being held down, I just wanted to push the message out there that it's not the case. It doesn't have to be the case, I should say. It's a better way to say it. Because it is the case if you want it to believe. It is the case. I love the Henry Ford quote, something along the lines of, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Which my interpretation basically just saying, whatever you choose to believe is going to be exactly what you experience. So if you think that the world is racist, if you think that America is racist, well, then you're going to find every reason to make that right. And you're going to share with everyone else around you that that's the way things are. And some people are going to believe you. I, for one, refuse to believe it because it's very limiting to believe that that's the truth. And that may be some sort of an underlying agenda somewhere, maybe subconsciously, but to push out that this is the way it is and get people to believe that that's the way it is, it's going to cause a lot of problems for a lot of people, that those same people could be following other messages that say this isn't the way it is. And, you're not a part of this oppressed society. You're actually part of the blessed human experience that God or the universe or whatever you really want to get into has created your opportunity to be here. So you're here, take full advantage of it. Try not to say that, too much in life is against you. Of course, we need to go through our challenges, but you'll be all right. I think you're already all right. If you're in a first world country, you're even able to watch this on YouTube, you're fine. There's a lot for you available to make your life the way you want it to be. Yes, there are going to be hard times. How you're going to deal with the hard times is really going to be a reflection of how you are as a character truly. So stay positive, stay happy as you can, experience the sadness, experience the down, but more or less, please just try to spread the positivity. It would be very much appreciated.